Okay, this is part 2 of mission 2 of the Brigmore Witches, the Dead Eels. Although this mission is mostly hatters and witches, I'm pretty sure I can get through this in one video because there are not that many books in this part of it. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're back here at the beginning of the mill. You already heard from Thomas. Actually, I want to go back. A couple of things I missed, just little things. Just want to quickly go over before I forget. I missed a bone charm.
Come and get me, or won't your mommy let you? What? Dad, come on, let's get this guy. Go down, you pig.
Gotta keep my wits about me.
Definitely somebody else. Watch it.
Ow.
Somebody, give me a hand.
Yeah, you're not keeping your wits about you if you just let him shoot me like that. Okay. Alright, there is a bone charm down here. Somewhere. If I can find it. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's by this corpse scavenger. Okay. Yeah, I just missed that one. And while I'm here, you come up here. So you didn't see this, but there's Edgar Wakefield. They took care of him. They just kind of left him on the deck. I don't know if he persists or not, or if he despawns. But also, if you look up here, so you see the Dead Eels logo, but behind it says Wrenhaven Shipping. So the Undine used to belong to a company called Wrenhaven Shipping before they, I assume, they stole it. That's all. Just little things I wanted to point out.
We ain't the only ones.
Someone wants to get kicked in the cow. Definitely somebody about it. Watch it.
Yeah, the AI for the NPCs is not great. I'm gonna take care of this guy just so it's not an issue later.
You'll sleep in the river mud tonight. That's another one for me.
What? No, it's for me. What are you talking about? All right, so here's something. I don't know if I just never noticed this before and if it's all games, but look. There is a reflection in the windows of the building across the way. Which I think is really neat because, of course, there are no reflections of the character. However, if you come back here... If you come back here to this window, same kind of window, and if you look, it's the same reflection, even though clearly this building is in the way. So it's not quite as sophisticated as you might hope. As it turns out, all buildings facing one direction have the same reflection in the windows. And the buildings facing another direction have a reflection of the buildings the other way, but it's not a high level actual reflection. It's just all the buildings facing this way will have this reflection no matter what's in front of them. So it's a nice detail, but it's not as nice as it first appears. But yeah, I never noticed that until just now. 10, 11 years after the game came out. Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and do the actual mission. So there are a couple ways of doing this. There are 3 ways. As
they weren't wearing no clothes.
Keep your hat on. I was just asking.
Just because you're in charge of the gate, it don't mean the rest of us are idiots.
Yeah? Well, since you're such a genius, it ought to be real easy to see who it was. So go check it out.
Fine. I don't know why you're worried about nothing.
Okay, there is a charm in this little booth over here. Get rid of those rats. Sustained rage. Okay, a couple of ways to go into this building. This is a pretty reliable one because there should be only one person over here on the other side of that door. So you see a lot of the fabric that the hatters are using to make shrouds for the plague dead. So they went from making fashionable clothing to these death shrouds that you see all these bodies all over the city wrapped up in. It's essential industry that's been repurposed, I guess. Like during the pandemic, a lot of liquor distilleries switched over to making hand sanitizer, alcohol-based sanitizer to stay open. It's actually kind of creepy how well that mirrored real life. Anyway, let's put this guy over here so he doesn't get seen. And we've got a Rothwild laborer. So if you help the laborers in the Rothwild mission, the slaughterhouse workers, then you have the option of buying this favor from this guy who is now working at the mill, and who will give you some information. It's not information that you would not otherwise know. It's not super necessary, but it's, you know, it's helpful if it fits your first playthrough. All right, so let's go see what he has to say.
Daud, didn't think I'd ever see you again. After you helped us escape the slaughterhouse, I got a job here running the looms. They got us working around the clock, making shrouds for all of the plague victims. Kind of makes me sick, but they have to come from somewhere, I guess.
How do I get into the engine room?
It's down in the basement, but you can't get in without the combination.
And where would I find that?
Nurse Trimble. He takes care of the geezer. But I'd bet my broom handle that's only half the story. See, the geezer's supposed to be the boss, but Trimble never lets anyone near him. Claims it's for his health. I'm sure the geezer knows the combination too. Except Fat Chance talking to him alone. Only time Nurse Trimble leaves is to check the lab equipment he's got upstairs.
Thanks for the help.
Take that bull rat fetus, and hey, Hound Pits! They got a Hound Pits sign. I wonder where they got that. Alright, the Rat Plague, definitely read this before, back in Galvani's house. Rune here. Skeeves is gone. It looks like Skeeves ain't coming back from his patrol. It's been 6 days now. Don't get me wrong, I ain't grieving because Skeeves and me didn't see eye to eye on many things. But it makes me sad because he swore he was bringing back a tremendous stash of coins he knew about up in the dried out waterway. I figured I'd part him from all those coins and a few card games, but that ain't to be. Who knows, if that water ever comes up again, it just may flush him out. But I doubt it. When you get off duty tonight, we need to drink a toast to old Skeeves. So, reference to the millinery canal that's been dried out because the water wheel stopped. Which is one of the things that our mission can possibly address. Alright, let's kind of go up this guy somewhere. It's not going to be seen. There's guys outside there. Also, you could also have come in this way, so on the roof, come in this skylight. Just one of the other ways you can come in. Alright, let's go upstairs. Actually, let me go down to the basement and check out the, just to show what it is. So here's the engine room. It's locked, there's the combination. You can brute force it. I mean, any of these combinations, you can just sit there and brute force it, but it'll take a while. Trimble knows door combination. Gone to look into the water flow situation in the sewers. If you need access to the engine room while I'm away, talk to Nurse Trimble. He's the only other person with the door combination. Pete. That's not actually true. Geezer knows it. But we'll run into Pete a little bit later. But he won't be very talkative. And the next floor up is the manufacturing floor. It's funny, this whole big building, there's only like half of this one floor where they used to actually make the fabric. But it's pretty well guarded, so we gotta go kind of slowly. I never choked out someone while standing on a railing before. That's good to know you can do that.
Hey, blow off, Chopper.
There's a blueprint. Explosive refinement. So these doors that are locked, you can often just break the window and blink through. If you got the... What? Well, let me try that again. There we go. So here's Trimble's lab. And there's the key. And they already come with the plague symbol on the fabric. Made to order. Okay, if you come down to the manufacturing floor from above, it's a bit easier to move around unseen. Although these, I guess, pipes or axles will, if you blink onto them, they'll start turning, so you gotta be careful. So if you're wanting to do a ghost run, you got to be careful not to alert the workers here. So these are civilian workers, so they won't, they'll do the typical civilian thing if you're detected, but they won't attack you. Yeah, so these things kind of turn, they kind of move you over, so you gotta be careful. But this is where they make the plague shrouds.
No! Got this bastard
Ah.
hagfish. Let's get this guy.
That's too bad. I was hoping to do the whole thing unseen, but mentality. Smelling salts, so we'll need that for the antitoxin coming up in a bit. Alright, A History of Lizzie Stride, excerpt from a listing of known underworld elements. Little is known of Elizabeth Stride's origins, except that she hailed from Morley, rumored to be the daughter of a seamstress and a traveling cloth merchant. So that's implied to be Mortimer Hatt himself. Stride was forced to flee Morley in her early years after strangling an abusive schoolmaster. She smuggled herself out of the city disguised as a boy and became a powder monkey on a navy ship. The ruse worked for a time, allowing her to see wonders and horrors that women in her society had always been denied. Her high spirit, charisma, and fierceness propelled her to the top of the pecking order in the small ship-bound community of children, and they grew loyal to her. Inevitably, her deception was discovered by the ship's surgeon when she was injured during a storm. Before the doctor could report her, she rallied her powder monkeys to toss the man overboard. A bloody fight ensued, but their brief mutiny was crushed, and many of her followers were put down. In the chaos, Lizzie and a handful of loyal boys managed to abandon ship in a skiff. Afterward, they found employment for a few seasons with a cartographer, working along the coasts of the Pandician continent to map estuaries. There, the crew of children grew into experienced and savage fighters. With the conclusion of the mapping expedition, the crew sailed back to Bristol. Once in Dunwall, Lizzie and her hardened friends carved a space for themselves in the street culture of the city. Their nautical experience had them at home on the Wrenhaven River, a territory previously unclaimed by any gang. They recruited former sailors, pirates, and defectors from other gangs. She took an unlikely lover, a naval aristocrat that arranged for her to carry merchant marine papers, giving them legitimacy in the eyes of the government and allowing her to sail through territory normally restricted to merchants. I wonder if that's Havelock. Probably not. Some of those same powder monkeys from the early years still follow her, helping pilot their cargo boat, the Undine, up and down the Wrenhaven on smuggling missions. As the leader of the Dead Eels, Lizzie has an almost mythic reputation for ferocity. She files her teeth to points and is even rumored to have webbed toes. Her enemies fear her unpredictable violence as much as they despise her. Alright, so we know she doesn't have webbed toes, but she does have filed teeth. And like I said, it's been kind of soft confirmed that Lizzie is actually Mortimer Hatt's daughter. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. I gotta say, like, blades reach way farther than it looks like they should in this game. Alright, let's try that again.
This whole place has gone to the hounds.
Maybe I can stay unseen this time.
I have to keep this position. He says to bring a bottle, I bring a bottle. He says to bring food, I bring food. He says to undress, I undress.
And we have a convenient mattress for you. Keep out. No admittance.
Wakefield's miscalculated badly. I predicted this would happen, of course. A man like Wakefield knows which end of a knife is for stabbing, but not much else. What's that? Oh, stop complaining, old man. I'm giving you a legacy. What were the Hatters before I arrived? I'll tell you. A shadow of their former selves. The butt of numerous jokes, in fact. Why did the Hatter piss in his own hat? What did the Hatter do with his last bullet? And so on. The answers aren't worth repeating. Leadership. That's what was missing. But
I'd like to hear the answers.
Defeat at the hands of the Bottle Street Boys of all things. There now. You mustn't become agitated. You'll inflame your arteries, which will only cause you unneeded agony. I can ease the pain, but only if you promise to behave yourself. No? Ah, that reminds me. I must see Jerome about getting more Oxrush. I'm fresh out.
I can't tell who that voice is supposed to be. I mean, it's clearly meant to be like a mimic of like some voice from some old movie, but I can't quite place it. Let's read volume 1 first, actually. Timer calibration. The calibration of my experiment timer is slightly off. This should be fixed immediately. I like to check on my experiments immediately after the bell chimes. I have this all perfectly timed from the bell ring to the walk to my lab. This should be a top priority after you return from restoring the water to flow to the sewers. Trimble.
Which makes me distrust him.
The Effects of Whale Oil on the Gastric Humors, Volume 1. Excerpt from a Natural Philosopher's Notes on the Effects of Whale Oil on Gastrointestinal Function. One benefit of this plague is the abundance of unclaimed bodies readily available to the inquisitive medical mind. I have been able to stimulate gastric function in addition to other organ activity through infusions of whale oil and the application of electrical impulses. I believe that such treatments could be applied to the living and that it might prolong life indefinitely. When my process is applied to the stomach and intestinal systems, digestion does in fact still occur, though the end product must be evacuated from the stomach through tubing and processed by my machinery before being recirculated to the appropriate organs. This was a tricky solution to come across, as my first inclination was to break the food down myself and bypass the natural processes altogether. My subject has indicated that he no longer has a sense of taste, but that might be a mercy given what I'm feeding him these days. This is clearly what Trimble is doing to the geezer, Mortimer Hat, keeping him alive with all those tubes. And then Volume 2 is over here. My primary patient is no longer mobile. A loss of bone density coupled with the amount of organ maintenance that I've had to perform on a daily basis means that he will be bound to a chair or bed for the foreseeable future. With this greatly agitated subject at first, he quickly grew too fatigued to offer further protest. I cleared a room close to my lab, but with access to the mill so he could continue to give orders. Update. After 3 weeks of regression, the yellowish sores have reappeared around implantation site C. I was holding on hope for a full recovery, as the highest concentration of whale oil was pumped into this site in particular. So, not a very happy existence for Mr. Hat. Right, so if you move this very obviously placed pillow, you get this audiograph. And if you place it in the player, it in fact does not play anything, but opens up this hidden panel behind this chalkboard. Gold and antitoxin. The antitoxin formula needs the following: oxrush flour, buy more from Jerome and Draper's ward; bull rat fetus, one in the dry storage room; metallic salts, some on the manufacturing floor. What do you know? We have all those things. So we can go ahead and make an antitoxin using this still here. Take the empty vial, put it in, and nothing happens. Oh jeez, what did I do? Do I have... I think I have all the things. Is it glitched? You know what? I might die. Now that I think about it. That's right. Okay. Because I reloaded. Yeah, Oh, what was that? I neglected to pick up the metallic salts. But I got them now, so let's see if it works this time. There we go. Combine ingredients, create antitoxin. Tasty. Okay, so now we can do a couple of the ways to get the engine coil.
Wakefield calculated badly. I predicted this.
My name's Daud. I'm looking for Lizzie Stride's missing engine coil. I'm giving you a chance to make a deal.
Yes, sir. Very reasonable offer. Geezer here says you're in luck. We only need that engine coil because someone shut off the flow that turns our water wheel.
Is that what he said, huh?
I sent men into the sewers to restore the flow, and not one of them came back. But what stopped them won't be a problem for the famous Daud, will it? When the water flows, I'll give you the engine coil. Here's the key to the sewer entrance, and it's a pleasure to do business with you, Mr. Daud. The Hatters will behave themselves, as long as you keep your end of the bargain, Daud.
I can't.
Please don't disturb him.
So if you try to talk to him with Trimble here, he will intercede multiple times. So if you want to talk to the geezer, missing mechanic. I sent our head mechanic into the sewers to try and get the water flowing in the canals again, but he hasn't been heard from since. We lost our other men trying to investigate what happened to him. Trimble. Yeah, so that's Pete again.
Wonder if he's still down there.
Whale oil tank replacement. Warning. When replacing the whale oil tank that powers the pulmonary machine, you will have precious little time to do so. If you fail to be diligent and Mr. Hat perishes, you will receive a toxic gas that will end your life and that of your fellow Hatters. Have a care. Trimble. Oh, I forgot to do it in his voice. Sorry. Some people have said that Trimble's model looks like David Lynch, the director. I don't know, maybe a little bit, but I don't know, kind of weird. Okay, so if you want to talk to the geezer alone, you have to set a timer on this and distract Trimble to make him come up to the lab. So you can hide, and he'll come up here.
We have an intruder!
What? I don't know if that triggered them to be hostile again. But that's okay, we just need to talk to the geezer alone.
Daud, quick, come close. Look at the pickle I'm in. Word's out about your deal with Lizzie. I know why you're here. thing, assassin. Kill me. This contraption, Trimble's machine, get it off me. Let me die. I'll give you what you want.
All I have to do is pull that oil tank.
No, not yet. Trimble's machine keeps me alive, but he's rigged it so that gas will flood the mill if I die. Insurance. Search Trimble's quarters. Upstairs, he has antitoxin he drinks every day, just in case I croak. You'll have to make some to survive the gas.
I've already taken the antitoxin.
Good. You're ready then.
Alright, then the only thing is to just pull out the tank.
It's out. What's the combination?
Daud. You set me free, kid. Hatters are finished. That's good. And, something. Wish it had been Lizzie. I gave her the password a long time ago. But she never came. Beautiful smile.
I need that combination.
Right. You did your part. The number is 4 0.
That was no way to
Okay, so he always dies before giving the last number, but that doesn't matter. You just, you know, cycle through the last few numbers. That's easy enough. So this will kill, obviously, the Hatters, but also the civilian workers. So if you want to do clean hands or even low chaos run, maybe you want to maybe not do this one, but 4-0. 8. All right, and that's how you get the engine coil that way. All right, so go back and do the other way, where you actually go clear the sewer, which is obviously the much more interesting way to do it. Okay, so this sewer is infested with our old friends, the river crusts. It's a little annoying that pretty much every video game ever confuses canals and drains with sewers, but they're actually two different water streams. At least they should be. There's one more. There he is. Seeing a lot of Archer family heirlooms recently. I don't remember seeing them in the previous game too much, but another one of these famous families. Right, so here's where you can enter the engine room from the sewer. It's just the separate door, so if you know the combination, you can go in that way as well. And if we come up here, nope, get past these rats.
This must be Trimble's man.
We find Pete.
Hope it was worth it. Never send a hatter to do anything important.
Yeah, probably wasn't worth it. Yeah, that's Pete, so we'll go see Pete in a second. But I want to come over here. So this is the first time we actually encounter the witches personally. I mean, except for the one that we got on the scout that was on the rooftop. Obvious decoy is obvious.
I was looking for my little boy. He's not well, and I fell down here. I hurt my leg.
Alright, so she's obviously laying in wait to lure us in. So, we come back. And go through this little grate here, this little opening. Come up on the other side. And a couple of things. So here's Pete, and we can first read his list here. To-do list, barely legible to-do list, stained with blood and grease. Get new spanner, river crust ate the old one. Check water flow control for Trimble, hopefully no rats. Good luck. Look for oxrush in the canal, Maggie likes red. Give Maggie my locker key in case she needs to stash her gear in my apartment this week. Okay, so this...
I doubt you'll be needing this again.
Here's Pete's key. Now that key will allow us to, if you want, I mean, it's at this late point in the mission, I'm not sure what the point is, but you can learn the combination to the engine room from the cabinet in the apartment. But if we come over here, there are two witches who are lying in wait, hiding behind this
what if Daud comes this way?
This metal piece here.
For a pretty face and a few tears.
Then
no, he will not.
For our little sister, but we'll make sure the job is done.
The stun mine. You can take care of him without ever even having to engage. All right, so that's see where they would have come through when they ambushed you. And if you come all the way down here at the end, there's a bone charm right there. So that's all the regular bone charms. I think there might be some corrupted charms still to get. Okay, so now that we know that the witch is a decoy, it opens up an extra dialogue option.
To die here.
Alright, so you can see that's where they would have come through. And now we come to one of my favorite cutscenes of the whole game.
You're not a weeper, are you?
Oh no, I'm not a weeper. Water control station. Royer and a few others went up ahead to the water control station to see why the water flow stopped, but they haven't returned. There have been reports of strange noises, and a few of our new workers fled for the exit. If someone doesn't come to relieve me soon, I'm leaving the place. I'm writing this so you have on record that I did not just abandon my station without just cause. Preston P.
Please, I think my knees hurt.
Aw,
I can
so
walk
sad.
if you'll just help me up.
Oh, really?
Whoever.
I almost had you downed. You could have had an easy death.
Tell me what Delilah's doing at Brigmore.
Why ask? When the change comes, you won't even notice. You'll never even know how we won. But when Delilah sits the secret throne, our reign will never end.
That's enough.
Alright. And if you do help her up, she just, you know, turns hostile and tries to attack you, and even if the other witches aren't around.
The gangs are at each other's throats. Daud is mired here. You'll have the time you need. And the portrait of the girl, is it? Excuse me, my lady. You're right. I should not have asked.
It's an interesting interaction. So, when other people... Like, do other people see Delilah talk and move when you do? Or is it like an illusion? I don't know. But if you take care of these rats, explosive bolts are good. There's a corrupted charm down here. Somewhere. Oh, that's right. You gotta wait for the wood planks to despawn. Oops. There we go.
Lurk told me you wouldn't give up, even as she knelt before me and gave me all your secrets. I know what you're doing, Daud. I know what that mark on your hand is, just like the one on mine. I know everything you can do, and it won't matter. 4 of us chosen, but history will only remember one. Delilah.
If they remember any of us.
Now, I don't actually see a mark on her hand, on the statues at least, on either hand. I don't know if that was an oversight or what. But... So the 4 she's referring to are herself, Daud, Corvo, and Granny Rags. At least at this particular point in time. There are others, but they're dead or they're in the future.
I think Delilah wants us out of the way when her little ritual is almost... Why? Don't be dense. She's afraid of us. When the change comes, she'll only want the weaker sisters nearby.
That makes no sense. Our power flows from Delilah. Without her, we'd be reduced to dancing under the moon and parlor tricks. You must be wrong.
Why else would she put us here, right in his path? I wish he'd hurry up and come already.
Your wish is granted. Can't get behind. Fine. Out of patience. Alright, here's the water control station, and this is the place where all the problem is originating. Moved wrench. Someone took the wrench to the water flow control valve. Please have someone find it and return it to the water control station. I mean, these witches were pretty easy to take out. Hard to believe that so many hatters died. I guess they're, I guess they're not. They really aren't very good at their jobs. But we gotta release the vines that are kind of clogging up these wheels. And there are a bunch of weepers down here. And of course, how many weepers there are depends on your chaos level. I think there's only like 4 down here, since I'm low chaos. If I had more patience, I would, you know, do the whole sneak up and choke them out. But I got enough. I got enough sleep darts. I can take him out. Unfortunately, in the second game, I think they kind of realized you're a bit OP with the sleep darts here, so they knocked you back down to like 5 darts. But here you can have up to, I think, what is it, like 15? So I'm gonna go crazy here. Yep. And then you just cut these vines. I think canonically they're called blood briars. Not sure why. Alright, now that's pretty much it. Just turn the wheel and the flow should be restored.
Now to go get that engine coil.
Take this, because I know I'll need it. Purple light, that means Outsider Shrine. Broken fan. Do not use the venting system until the fan motor is replaced. This thing nearly came off its drive shaft. I will let you know when it's back up and ready to go. Alright, video game logic says don't use. That means absolutely use. I was never brave enough to get in the way of that thing. I don't know if what it'll do to you. But you come up here, and there is your Outsider Shrine. Now, interestingly, you don't actually need to take it from here. If you don't do that thing with the fan, you can come back out, and if you have the pull power, you can actually just stand here and use pull, and pull that rune to you. If you can get in line of sight of it.
You're putting it together, aren't
there you go.
you?
And
It's
it'll trigger
not easy.
anyway.
Delilah's exceedingly bright. Her coven is rising, with her as the night star to guide them. Change is coming, and Delilah has a plan. But do you, Daud? And I don't mean stealing an engine coil or slitting an old man's throat. You're charging upriver, and I do believe you'll make it. But what will you do with what you find there?
And then when that finishes, you're magically in here. So you don't actually need to do that. That thing with a fan. You just kind of use pull and you get transported. This key and get out of here. And it lets us out. Lets us out kind of at the beginning of the sewer location right here, and we can leave. Now, if you know the combination, you can put it in there. Of course, we already know it's 408, but we'll just finish this this portion of it. Here's the rooftop entrance you can go into if you want.
It's done. But I don't think you'll see your men again.
Geezer says a deal's a deal. The code is 408. All due respect, we've got a business to run here. I told the men to lay off you, but I wouldn't wear out my welcome. Tell your friend, Lizzie Stride, to watch her back. The eels are lucky Geezer knows how to make a bargain.
Daud, I guess you got what you came for. You snake. You and Trimble, peas in a pod. You can both rot. Trimble. Out. Down.
Okay. I think that's it. Also, if you kill Trimble in front of the geezer, he's very happy about it. But then, of course, the Hatters become aggressive again. So obviously the combination changes each playthrough. So you can't just learn it once and use it over and over.
Choke of metal and wiring. If this gets me closer to Delilah's throat, so be it. No fighting. Wonder how long that'll last.
Hey, there's that white rat. Or a white rat. Okay, so that was two ways of getting the coil. The third is if you take the mechanic's key, Pete's key, and you unlock his cabinet here, engine room combination. Mr. Hat, I've completed the final connections between the mill apparatus and the engine. The power generated should be far more than required to put the mill back into full operation, but I cannot vouch for the reliability of the engine itself. Therefore, I am traveling into the sewers to find where the water has been diverted away from the district. It is infinitely preferable to have this water flow restored, which will power our mill in perpetuity. Should the need arise to reach the engine during my absence, I have set the combination to the gate to 408. I will return soon. Yeah, don't count on that, Pete. Did not return at all. But from there you can learn the combination, and then you can go get the engine coil that way. Okay, now that we've restored
Definitely somebody about. Watch it.
restored the water flow, you see the canal is now full. Now, in a previous save, I went and looked all up and down this for old Skeeves. I did not see his body get washed out, so I don't think Skeeves is down there. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I don't think he is. Okay, the only thing left is to replace the coil. Alright, so since we took care of all the witches in the sewer, one way or another, they will not be waiting for us. But if you don't take them all out, they will be laying in ambush right back here in this area where there was the Weeper and the rune.
Where's Narya gone? Daud's no fool, you know. He'll spot a straggler.
Hunting for glory, kissing up to Delilah, playing games.
She thinks she's still at a Boyle Mansion seance.
And once you place the engine coil, they'll attack. So if you're doing a kind of a ghost run,
That's a lot of fingers.
that
Lizzie's pissed.
could ruin it.
What are you planning?
Me and Ferris are crossing the canal later on.
Oh, you are.
Thinking about filing my teeth, like Lizzie Stride.
Oh yeah? That's not what it sounded like a bit ago. Oh, man. Alright, but now we can replace the coil. And they won't attack because they're not there to attack.
The honor's Daud. Fire up the engine from the bridge. Get us underway.
Alright, sound the horn once. And let's... Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me get that last coin. Now let's go. Okay, that's the end of that mission. So, only 3 hostile guilds, still low chaos. Our actions were restored the water, dealt with the witch scout, and completed Granny's Restory, SP. And of course, if you had killed the geezer, that would have been a special action as well. Probably a couple others that I don't remember. All the runes, all the bone charms, all the corrupted charms, 2 shrines, and most of the coin. But yeah, this was a long one. Okay, so the next mission is the last mission at Brigmore Manor. I'm pretty sure that's going to be at least 2 videos as well. Probably not 3, maybe 3. We'll see. But probably 2, and that will be the end of the Brigmore Witches and the Daud DLCs. All right. Hope you watched that one as well. Thanks a lot.